Hey guys, it's me, Amy, and Stevie for A Taylor AI 1. And we're coming to you not for couponing today. There's Stevie yawning. He just woke up. He has the day off. Why do you have the day off?
President election.
President election.
Day.
Well, which I understand because the school gets flooded with people. Anyways, do you know what the Electoral College is? Okay. First of all, let me ask you, do you think that when I vote today that I'm voting for the president? No? Who am I voting for?
You told me this before.
I did tell you before because we were discussing it before we started videotaping, but he's already forgotten. And I already fed him breakfast. He should have a good mind going right now.
No, I still just woke up. Quiet, Roscoe.
Okay, so you are actually not voting, or we are not actually voting for the president. We are voting for a representative of our state for the Electoral College. Well, I know I mispronounced that, but anyways, I'm actually voting for the representative of the states, of our state, that's representing their political affiliate. Each one of the states' electoral college representatives are picked either, number one, by election by the people about 6 months before now, or the Senate has the right, depending on the policy of the state, to elect the representative as they see fit. Now, the whole idea about this is that they didn't want the people of smaller states to be ignored by the presidential candidates. So they figured if they split it up in a certain way, it would force the presidential candidates to have to visit all the states, not just certain ones. It's backfired for a lot of reasons, mainly because of what we call swing states, okay? And I'm going to explain that in a moment. So here we have a sorry board. We're not playing sorry yet, but we will be. And on the board, you know, we have all these pieces. Each state in the United States has to have at least 3 representatives for the Electoral College. There is only 500 and, it is 500 and, what crap, forgot now, 538 total, not candidates, but electoral votes, okay, for the whole United States, which causes a problem because each state, regardless of size, starts out with 3 representatives. But the second thing that happens with this is, let's say that this one has 5 representatives. How come they have 5 and this one has 3? Well, it goes by population, which is determined every 10 years by the census, which is why it's very important that you fill out that form every 10 years so that they can take a count of how many people are in your household, so that they know the count of how many people are in the state, so that, let's say this state doesn't have enough people in the population, okay? Let's say that they only have enough people for 2 representatives. This state has 5 representatives because it's a bigger state. They will actually take one of the votes and send it over to this state so that this state will have the 3 votes that are necessary by the Constitution. And the Constitution, of course, 1787, states in Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, that every state has to start with at least 3 votes. Well, what happens on this is that, so when you vote, either by the Senate deciding the person that's going to represent the state, or by the people having an election beforehand that decides who's going to represent their state, you have at least 3 votes for each state. And then depending on population, for the 10-year census, they can gain or lose votes. There are 2 states here in the United States, Stevie, that are not, their votes don't the people don't really have to vote because in both Nebraska and Maine, they have popularity, nationwide popularity vote. So those two states, and this is what happened in 2000 when Bush and Gore were running against each other. Gore actually had more popular votes than Bush. He should have won the election, okay? But what happened was Florida ended up being the deciding state, okay? And then Maine and Nebraska had to go with whoever had the most electoral votes. So George Bush won the majority of electoral votes, not popularity, electoral votes. So then Nebraska and Maine gave their electoral votes to Bush because he was the overall winner, okay? So whatever the nation decides by their voting, which is not done by popularity but by electoral, is what ends up determining who's the winner. So we don't actually pick by popularity. We pick by electoral votes. Does this mean that you shouldn't vote? No. Why? I mean, you shouldn't. I'm sorry. Are we saying that you should vote or shouldn't vote?
Should.
You should vote. And one of the reasons is really because these candidates here that represent the states, okay, these electoral, they're supposed to go by popularity by the state. But the thing is, 11 times in our history of voting, there have been states that even though they voted all Democrat was the popularity, the electoral college representatives did not vote in the popularity vote for the state. So even though the state said we're Democratic and we want the Democratic nominee to win, when they did the vote, by the way, they vote in December. So we're voting today, and then when they go to vote in December, that's when you actually do know exactly who won. And that was the whole issue with Bush. They didn't actually announce the winner until January 6, 2000. It was then announced because they had to go through a whole lot of other stuff that's really long and involved. But anyways, we send them to Washington to vote. Okay, the thing is, even though they say they'll vote for the most popular person of the state, they can decide not to. So then does your vote matter? Yes? No? Which one? If everyone voted Democrat, but the person who is representing you in the government, if they disagree with you, they have the power not to vote with you. So then, if they're not going to vote for what the popular thing is, then is it still, I mean, does your vote still count? No, it doesn't. And that's the problem with the Electoral College. The Electoral College was supposed to make it so that everyone had an opportunity to know the views. And I'm going to explain real quick, and then we'll call it quits for you, because I know I'm boring you. Because it used to be, in the old days, you gave your vote, postal vote, paper vote, to the mailman. You prayed he didn't die of some disease or get shot at with arrows or whatever and die on the way to the government, okay? So the government decided that also due to, they would, one town or state or whatever would vote only for the person in their state that was running for president and not for candidates who were running nationwide because they didn't have the technology that we have today. So they said, well, they don't get the information in real time, so therefore we'll just set it up so that we'll have a representative who does know all the issues, and whoever they vote for will be the person that represents that state. Nowadays, with technology like it is, we know what the candidates are doing before they do most of the time. So we're able to form opinions. So the electoral vote is no longer, to me, applicable to the situation that we are now in. So, that is what, so real quick, cap off, Stevie, would tell me just basically about how do you vote and who votes? How is the president decided?
Population, the candidate guys, I forgot what they're called.
Electoral college representatives.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Don't stress yourself too much, child. Okay, so what you want to, well, I don't know what you want to say, but I'll guess, and you can correct me, that the population of a state gets represented by
The
electoral college representatives.
Yeah.
And if all the state votes,
And they don't like, and one of the guys don't like it, and the representative thing.
but he has to vote what everyone else said? No,
No, he can change
because
it.
he has freedom to vote however he wishes. And what is do you know what a swing state is? I'm going to explain that real quick. A swing state is what happened with Bush and Gore in 2000. It's only happened 4 times where they have to get 270. That's the majority of the 536 representatives that we have of the votes. Okay, so they need to have. I'm sorry, that was 538, not 6. 538 total. You need 270. Both Bush and Gore had 49% of the electoral votes that were required. Florida was the last one reporting in. Florida is considered to be a swing state because the people are divided. So like Texas is Democratic across the board. Normally you know that Texas is going to vote Democratic. California is going to vote Republican. Florida, on the other hand, could go either direction. So that's the state that they focus on the most. There's other ones like Ohio and several other states that are considered swing states because they aren't, the population isn't specifically one or the other. And another point before I end this, because we are now going on over 13 minutes, is that the electoral college votes really mean that an independent and a third party will never be elected under the electoral college regulations because they don't get the ability to get voted by popularity. They get voted by the Senate because the Senate picks the representatives, and the representatives necessarily do not have to represent the state. They just represent their own political views sometimes, like the 11 times the state in our history has not voted for the popular person. So how does an independent or a third-party person hope to get the electoral votes that is required to win an election? They can't at this point. And we are the only country in this world that has there's other countries that have free elections, but we are the only country that does not have popularity decision as a country. So our president's not voted by popularity, he's voted by electoral college representatives. All other countries that have open elections, their presidents or their representative of their country is picked by popularity. There is no electoral college. So tonight, guys, when you're watching TV, and I'm sorry this ended up so long-winded, when you're watching TV and you see them counting, and they're counting, 135 votes, they actually are talking electoral college votes. So you want to keep track of how many electoral votes, because Romney actually has the popular vote, but Obama has the electoral vote. So even if Romney has the popularity, he may still not win due to the electoral representation. So we will wait and we will find out. We love you all. Stevie's messing with the dog, trying to get the dog. He's over there. I know. There he is. Anyways, guys, live, love, and eat. Go and vote. And see, even Roscoe says, go vote. Say, Roscoe. Should they vote? Roscoe, should they vote?
Speak. Speak. Boy.
All right, guys, live, love, and eat. Bye.